there are a lot of sacrifices. First, when they start, they got to really want to do that. They got to be totally committed. They got to be motivated to do it, and they must have fun doing it. And then it starts from, it's a very difficult sport to learn, very difficult, because of the elements like the weather, the light, the snow, the wind, the steep, and the ice, and the ruts, and the slush, and it's just very difficult. I'm Eric Seiler, and I'm the head coach and the program director for the ski racing team. I
competed in the 1998 and 2002 Olympics in the slalom event. This is a dream come true. Training is a lot of work. You go through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of good races, a lot of bad races, injuries. Go through everything. But the person that doesn't quit life for it, you ate for it, you slept for it, you trained for it. Everything you did was for ski racing.
My name is Gaylord Gladwin. I have been associated with Buck Hill for 40 years.
Where does the interest come? The desire inside the individual. You start skiing, start racing, and you think the competitive spirits start churning up. And once you start realizing, hey, look, I can beat this guy or I want to beat him, everything takes care of itself.
Families find that their child is not going to be able to walk, or that their child is going to have challenges in walking or learning or speaking or using their hands. It's an adjustment. It's a grievance process that they have to go to.
I remember very clearly the day that we went to the doctor and they said that something was wrong with Padraig. And I recall feeling like the life had just been drained from me. But I figured we could fix it, so it wouldn't be a lifelong issue for us. So I can't say that I really started dealing with the emotions or getting the help that we needed right away. It wasn't until a few years later that the reality kind of sunk in that Padraig's challenges were going to be lifelong, and therefore I needed to start finding help for him and start finding help for our family. So in addition to just the normal things that moms do for their kids, raising their family, working, trying to have a social life, suddenly I had this big job of finding help for Padraig. And along with that, I had to start grieving for my loss in the child that I thought that I would have, but also busy grieving for Padraig for the life that he wasn't going to have. And it was the most overwhelming feeling that I've ever had. I felt like the world was just coming down upon me, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to get my head back up.
My name is Rick Green. I work with Ski Challenge and also the race staff here at Buck Hill. And I have a 30-year-old son named Jared. Jared has vascular quadriparesis, which is a form of cerebral situation where you have a handicapped child and you are sometimes feeling very isolated. You are the only one, usually the only one in your neighborhood who has that. You may be the only one in your family who has that type of around and seeing the other kids progress, and your child is just as lovable, just as nice, and not as having as many friendship or opportunities to do things. And it gets to be a very different world for us.
No, it's tough. My mom takes care of Padraig. I feel like she does more than me a lot. And angry. Sad.
Yeah, we learned when we were growing up with Jared was to find services for Jared was very difficult at times, and we had to go out and sometimes make them on our own or push the social service system or whoever it was to create some things for us to utilize or to find information on our own.
Find that place of well-being in spite of some of the challenges that the family might have, or the child might have, or the system might have, how can we help support the family to find that place of well-being and experience pleasure and delight in the successes that happen each day? And that's really hard when you're worried about your child and wondering about what's going on. And so if we can help facilitate an understanding of what that is and what to do about it, I think the transition for families is to get to that place where they feel like they're doing the right thing.
Developing a champion athlete requires time, dedication, and money, along with the tremendous support of family and friends. These same elements are just as critical in a parent's quest to make their special needs child a champion. Raising children is a challenging experience in itself. That challenge is multiplied when raising a child with special needs. With the many additional care needs required, the parent endures many more obstacles to manage their family life. They have less time to research and/or discover tools and resources that will make the lives of their special needs child, their siblings, and the entire family function more victoriously. A simple task such as finding a doctor or a dentist, finding a babysitter for a night out, or finding time to spend with each member of the family, who just as importantly need to know they are also a significant and equal part of the group. Padraig's Place was developed in 2008 when Padraig's mom stepped back to ask the question, why is it so hard to find the help that I need?
You have to enjoy and love working with them, and we do, and we find it to be rewarding. So we basically see any child with any kind of special needs that we can help out.
What began as a dream has steadily grown and continues to expand into a valuable resource that families of special needs children require. With the continued and steady efforts of volunteers, financial and in-kind supporters, and you, the ski race benefit participants, Padraig's Place is proud to introduce SpecialKidCare.org. SpecialKidCare.org is a new website that makes the search for resources easier for families and puts them in touch with the amazing volunteers and organizations that Padraig's Place partners with.
We're always glad to see what kids are able to do and celebrate that. Little steps in the right direction always make our heart pitter-patter. So,
when these two groups come together, incredible things can happen.
And I also want to say that there's a number of ski challenge racers who work with the Winter Special Olympics, and I want to thank them for doing it. That's a very nice thing. And I know a couple of them also work with the Courage Alpine Skiers, so thank you for those at that too.